Hi guys, this is another interview question from my side. This is regarding Python programming, and of course, it might be with the scripting only. And coming to this Python question, very important. The input underscore string. That means it is the input given by the interviewer, like A, B, B, C, 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 D, 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 D. That means in the output string, the sequence of characters are identified. A is the first character in this string, and it is iterated, like it is repeated in this string one time. That's the reason A1. And BB, that means B is given two times in this string. So the output should be after A1, it should be like B2. C, C3, and D, it is four times, so D4. I think you have some basic idea about so understanding of the what actually the output should be. So it depends on the each character and its sequence number. Like if it is repeated one time A1, if it is repeated two times A2, it is repeated three times A3 like that. So now let us look into the requirements of doing this particular Python scripting, and here what you need to know to resolve this issue is very important. From Python side, you must know about the functions. You must know about the functions, very important, and even the for loop and if conditions. So if conditions are useful for filtering the data, and for loops are important for the iterating over the iterable objects like list, tuple, set, dictionary, and even strings also. Very important. So in this case, we are taking the strings. So we need some for loops also in this particular thing. That's the reason it is essential. You need to know about the for loops of the Python. Strings and slicing also. Of course, there is no slicing required in this one, but of course you must know about the slicing to take the interviews clearly and easily. Very important, guys. So now code checking. Yes, we need to check the code. So what actually I prepared for this one? The code is like this. There is a function, so we have to pass the input string to this particular function. It should be called. So the calling function should pass this one, the parameter. Input underscore string is the parameter here. So this parameter is to be passed through this particular calling function compress underscore string. The compress underscore string, it is the function we defined here. So it takes this input underscore string as an argument, and once the argument is passed to this particular function, it starts with the coding. And in the first step itself, it takes one variable like compressed having is a empty string, so it is to be initialized with the empty string compressed. So even we are taking one more extra variable, that is count is equal to 1, because we need to find out each character occurrence in the sequence of that particular string. So for example, if you take the A, it is repeated three times. The initial count would be set for the A is 1. Later on, it is going to be incremented to the up to the occurrences of that particular individual character of that particular string. So in the for loop, we are iterating this input string or taking like input string length. That means here in our case, input string length is A three times, B four times, C four times. That means total 11. So 11 is the length of this one and minus 1. So we are optimizing it to the length of this minus 1 means 10 times it is going to be iterated. So very important, guys, we need to understand this. So in this for loop, we are using the range function. So using this range function, we are iterating all the characters of the string using the length of that particular string, because range works on the integer values. So that's the reason it doesn't work on the this I mean the string variable. So we are changing that into the length of this one. So taking that length and we are iterating that particular the range using the range function, the length of that particular string. So we are iterating this one and taking each character into the I. So the for I in range means we are taking each character one by one. And here in the if condition, even we are taking the index method here. So on the string value, so input underscore string of I means it takes the 0, that means the first character, and input underscore string I plus 1, that is 0 plus 1. The next character will be, I mean, the both are going to be checked on like the matching condition. If these both are same, then the count is going to be incremented to 2, because count plus is equal to 1 means count is equal to count plus 1. That means it is going to be incremented to 2. So if it is not there, like it is not iterating, then it will comes out and it will go on to the else spot. In the else spot, so the compressed, that means we are taking the empty string, right? So the compressed empty string will be like added, that means appended with the input underscore string I, the current value, the current character plus its count. Like in our case, the first character is A. It is repeated 3 times, like the string of 3. That means the 3 integer value is going to be converted into the string, and later on we are appending it. Because so in Python, if you append, that means if you add a string with the integer, it will throw the error. So in order to avoid that error, we are just converting this integer to string. Later on, we are adding it to this particular thing, and finally we are moving it into the compressed variable. So that is the simple process happening with this function. So let us work with this one practically. For that, I'm just using one online compiler. So very important. So using this online compiler, you can interactively check your code. Very much important. So I'm just typing online Python compiler. So I'm taking this, the first one, online Python compiler. I'm reviewing all this one, and simply I'm writing the function because it is to be completed using the function. The function is very important. So using this function, I am passing the input string. So after input string is passed to this compressed calling function. So I am taking compress underscore string. So we are converting it, right? So that's the reason I'm taking this function, and simply I'm taking pass. So it is the basic definition of writing this one, and then later on we need to call it. So again use the compress underscore string. So now if you run this one, nothing will happen. So that is the first step you need to understand, because this calling function is not passing any parameters to this one, and of course it is not accepting any arguments, and simply the pass means nothing will happen in this function. Now let us take the input string first. So input underscore string. So the input string, you know, A, BB, CC, and PP. So very important. Now this string is to be passed. So that's the reason copy and here pass this string, and it should accept the input string. So I'm taking the input string. So instead of this pass, I'm just printing the input string, what we are passing. So run it. Yes, A, B, B, C, 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 D, 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 D. That's okay. Now, as I shown my code, first of all, I need to take the compressed one, that is, and this string is to be initiated, and then the count. The count is equal to 1. Now we need to iterate this string using the for loop, using the range function, and then you may take the length of the input string, very important, and then you need to take the -1. That means we are simply not using the optimization technique. We are not running all this one. So simply we are running it at 9 times, I think. So let us print what actually printing in the I. So the I starts from 0 and it goes on 8. That means how many times it is going to run, you know? Only 9 times it is going to run. How the length of the string is 3 and 3 and 3 and 1, 10. So 10 characters are there in this string, but actually we are iterating only how many times? 9 times. Because in later in the code itself, we are going to use the input string with the index method. There we are even checking the plus one indexing with this one. So there we are not, I mean, we are using, when we are at the 8, that means we are even checking with the 9. So for that, so we are simply using this index less -1. So very important. So now let us just run this code with this one. If input underscore string, if input underscore string I, guys, input underscore string I, what actually input underscore string I? Even you can print all this one. Print. So this is the index method. That means you can access each character of this particular string. As we have already seen, we come up with the range function. That means we are coming up with the indexes of the this particular string. Very important. 0 means A, and 1 means the first B, and 2 means the second B. So let us print this. Yes, A, B, C, D, D, D. Very important, guys. So even here one more D is missing because we are taking the range -1. Very important, range length of input string -1 means it goes on till the last but one character of this particular input string. So now we need to check this input string with the next character. That means it is the first character A. It should be checked with the other character which is next to it. So now we use the if function. If input underscore string I equals to input underscore string I plus 1. So you need to use the I plus 1. That means it will check with the A and B. If A and B are matching, then it will go on with the count increment. Otherwise, it will come out of this. So if condition is done, then here we need to make the count increment by using the count plus is equal to 1. One increment is going to be given. So one more thing, as it is the if condition, you need to use the colon here. So then you need to write the else part. So if the input strings first character or the next character is not matching with these two, like for example, if A is not matching with the B, then what we need to do? We need to compress the count what is taken. For example, in this case, yes, the case is like if input string is equal to not matching with the next, that means the index 1 is not matching with the index 2. That means the character at the index 1 index 0 is A, the character at the index 1 is B. These two are not matching. That means we have already taken the count 1. That means A is 1. Very important. Let us check that one. Okay, let us check that one. I'm taking only A as the input string. So we need to just, even I need to write the else part also. So let me write the else part for this one. Else compressed plus is equal to input underscore string. So the first character I, and we need to append the count, right? So in order to append this one, we need to convert this integer value to the string. Very much important. Otherwise, it will throw the error. So now the compression part is done. So we implemented this one. So if you, for example, collect the information like, so you can return the compressed one finally. So for that, I'm returning it, return compressed. So the compressed will be written at, that is going to be the result for this one. So the result is to be stored here in the result variable. Later on, we need to print the result. If you run the run command, C is 4, right? C actually it is 3, but it is showing 4. So what happens now? Here we need to set the count is equal to 1. For each character sequence, we have to set the count 1 when it starts running with the first character itself. So now if you run A1, B2, C3. Now one more thing it is missing is D part is missing. So for that, actually externally you need to, run this compressed statement once again. That means uh, for the final character it has to run this one. So for that we need to change this -1. Now if you run it, A1, B2, C3 and D4. So this is the entire code. So using this one we can do these things, very important guys. So I'm just understanding this one. Yeah, thank you very much guys for watching this video. So please subscribe, like and share my channel. Thank you very much.